Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to all of the UK's greatest estate agents. Welcome to another Best Agent Breakfast Show with me, Charlie Lamdin. And let's get straight into the news without delay. So I'm going to start this morning with a point that actually includes a story from each of the three news sites. So on the Negotiator story website this morning, they've got a story which is actually on a couple of sites about Hampton saying that 7 out of 10 buyers are now have nothing to sell. Only 3 in 10 buyers are actually buying with a chain. Okay, interesting news. On Estate Agent Today, one of the stories is that Rightmove predicts gradual house price slowdown. Now that, if the number of buyers stays high and house prices become easier to reach, that suggests a possible increase in transactions for you, which is obviously great news. But then I saw at the bottom of a story on Property Industry Eye something that, if I was an estate agent, would make me start to be thinking ahead and be a bit worried about the longer term future. Because, so this is a story by a chap called Peter Ambrose, who is a conveyancer. He's the head of the Conveyancing Partnership, and he's giving a comment on the market based from his point of view as a conveyancer. And it was this final paragraph that caught my eye. Last year, they exchanged 90% of their pipeline in 90 days. And this year, it's dropped to 55%, meaning less money, fewer staff, and not a pleasant spiral in anyone's world. And higher up the article, he talks about how this is going to impact agents' incomes as well as conveyancers' incomes. And he said that caseloads must be reduced by increased pricing. I'm not sure what he means there. I don't think you just by putting conveyancing prices up, you're going to have less conveyancing jobs. But that, to me, is a worry, because what it suggests is that things are going okay at the moment. Properties are selling for over asking price a lot of the time. A lot of first-time buyers or proceedable buyers are happening, and Rightmove saying that prices are going to ease a bit later this year, so more buyers will be able to afford it, more transactions. And so looking further down the year, there is a risk of a lot of pipeline fall through if the conveyancer simply can't keep up. Now, I don't know what the solution to that is, other than building great relationships with conveyancers if you can. So not particularly exciting news this morning, but I think important and relevant, and it will affect all agents if that's the case, because nothing costs an agent more money than a deal that falls through, because of all the work and time you've invested to get a deal at that point. And if a deal falls through that's completely beyond your control and for reasons that are outside your control, that's incredibly frustrating and deeply unfair. You're losing that money. So right now, if I was an agent, that to me would be the greatest threat on the horizon, this conveyancing bottleneck getting worse as transaction volumes potentially increase. Okay, guys. So I'm going to move on now to my tip of the day. Now, all estate agents use some PropTech to a greater or lesser degree. And this is a golden rule that you can apply no matter how much you use or how little, but it's a golden rule. All of you, I'm sure, will have experienced the problem where you buy a product that looks and sounds good and thinks like it ticks lots of boxes for you, and then in the real world, it doesn't quite deliver. This is the tip that will solve that problem for you, no matter how big or small your agency is. Only buy a piece of PropTech if it meets all three of these criteria. A lot of you buy it because it meets 1 or 2 criteria, and that's not enough, even if it's a good product. It's got to meet 3 criteria. Number 1, it's got to save you time first and foremost. It's got to save you time. Don't sign up to a product that's going to save you money if it doesn't save you time, because it actually won't save you money. All right? It must save you time. This isn't no particular order, by the way, but these are the 3 rules. Number 2, it's got to either save or make you money. Okay, so have a direct financial benefit to it as soon as it's up and running. And number 3, and this is the one that most people miss, it must also make a direct improvement in your customer's experience of using your agency. All right. Now, every time you use PropTech that does all 3 of those things, saves you time, saves you or makes you money, and improves the experience your customers have with your agency, that is a piece of product that will not only give you short-term benefit, but also increasing long-term benefit, making you look good to all your customers. I'll give you, there are many examples of this. There are so many examples that don't meet all three of those criteria. And that's the problem. A lot of them look shiny and sparkly and you think this is going to be great for my business. And you take it on and you go to the onboarding process and training and find out that actually, it's just not working. An example, the first example that came to my mind is something like the depository, the Christian Byfield. So the depository is an end of tenancy checkout product that helps speed up the end of tenancy checkout, in particular the conclusion of the deposit monies. Now, that is something that I know saves agents a lot of time when it's using it. Therefore, it is reducing their costs, okay? And also, it's giving their landlords and their tenants a much better experience at the end of tenancy and making any agent that uses it look good. So the depository, Christian Byfield is one of my favorite agents. This has nothing to do with that. It's a genuinely beneficial product that is a win-win-win for agents, landlords, and tenants, and saves money and makes you look better. So there's an example of one that I mean, okay? So Christian, you're welcome for that free shout out, but massively deserved. But the hard decision here means that there may be products that, although they're in their own right, they look like a good product, if they don't meet those three criteria, you should either not buy them or you should move away from them, because ultimately they are actually slowing you down and adding friction to your overall process, especially if they're not integrated with your systems. Okay, so number one, must save you time. Number two, must have a direct financial benefit, either cost saving or additional income. And number three, it must make a direct improvement in the experience of your customers. Now, I'll put a link afterwards in the show notes to a video I did a few years ago about the 6 rules of choosing PropTech, which I hope will help you as well. But if anyone's watching this and got any questions, please say hi in the comments or send me your question. But in the absence of that, I'm going to just share with you one last thing that happened last week. Last week, after I recorded one of these shows, I recorded a video to camera, which was I posted on LinkedIn, and it was frustration with all of the crap LinkedIn inboxing you get from people trying to sell you stuff. And it was just my way of saving time of going back to all the people who inbox me and saying, please don't inbox me unless ABC. And it had 10,000 impressions, and it just went a little bit viral. And the video itself has had over 2,000 views. If you haven't seen it, it's actually quite entertaining. It's me having a bit of a rant about people wasting my time on LinkedIn. I'll put a link to that in as well. Anyway, guys, welcome back after the weekend. I hope you had a good weekend. It's the beginning of a long week. I hope you have a fantastic week. Remember that what you're doing is changing people's lives, hopefully for the better, getting them out of their old home and into their dream home, and hopefully not for the worse, where you end up letting people down. But remember that I think a lot of agents lose sight of this. They get lost in the everyday grind, but you are in the business of changing people's lives and doing so with a job that's one of the most difficult jobs out there. So I wish you all the best for the day and for the week. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7:45. If you like this show, please let me know in the comments. Please share it with your fellow agents if you think they'd like it too. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Hope you're enjoying morning coffee.